Hey guys, Double Jack here, and it's the 19th, and what does that mean? It's Ultra Jump Day, aka JoJolion Day. So I thought, this is the month I'm going to start doing my JoJolion kind of spoilers slash impressions, which I'm going to talk about and everything. If you would like to, watch it now. Of course, spoilers, so if you would rather read it and then comment as well, that's cool. I'm going to be talking about every single part of this, so enjoy. This was a pretty good one, but let's get into it. So, with this latest chapter, of course it starts off and it does have a little bit of news to do with Eyes of Heaven. It's all the news we already know before, but it's just talking about the conference tomorrow on the 20th at Tokyo Game Show, which is, I'm going to go to there and I'm going to see how much footage I can get and just enjoy the whole thing and talk to you and have so many reports. Anyway, it starts off with, we're talking about the Rokakaka fruit again. And in 1938, an Australian guy went to New Guinea. That's where it started, New Guinea. And when he was at New Guinea, he discovered the fruit. But the tree was about 2 meters bit tall, and it only bloomed 1 to 3 fruits, and it was really rare. So the natives of, the native men of New Guinea would travel across mountains and stuff to try and get the fruits. Now, why are they doing that? The truth is that the females, a lot of the females that couldn't give birth, would suddenly eat the fruit, and then they could give birth. The only side effect of that was that their breasts weren't full of milk, they were full of sand, and that has a whole new meaning to sandbags now, doesn't it? And basically sand would come out. And then there would be old people that their teeth would be falling out, and then suddenly, when they would mash up and then drink the Rokakaka fruit in a juice, suddenly their teeth would come back but as stone. So this is all being done by, narrated by Yasuho at this time. She also says about during World War II, when the Japanese occupied half of New Guinea, and then because they heard about the fruit, and suddenly out of nowhere there was no fruit. They couldn't find the fruit, and it was just the stuff of legends. And of course, then we come back to nowadays, and I've written it all down here because there was a lot of information, and I just I can remember it, but I want to get 100%. So basically, we learn more about Josefumi because Yasuho, of course, she phoned up different places, and then she finally found out that Josefumi, he's basically, his father's called Sadafumi, his mother's called Kiyomi. He was born in S City, not necessarily Moriocho, basically Sendai, in 1991. I love the fact that it actually says he doesn't have a Facebook address in bold English. Facebook, it's doesn't have a Facebook account, rather, not address. And he lives at Moriocho Azamutsu Kabe 33, which is about 15 minutes walk from the Higashikata household, and he's a student at a school called T Academy, or T Gakuen in Japanese. The next bit I have to show you, because before then it's mostly just story and exposition, but in a good way, it's really done well. I have to show we get a new character and not possible really, because I'll talk about that, new stand user, new character, and it's really funny, because when you look at him, I just want to say before I show you, he looks like he looks like Pesci from Golden Wind in his 40s or 50s. So we basically meet this new guy, who is Hato's boyfriend. Hato brings the boyfriend in, and you got Daya my eyes are weak, Josuke. What is he? Is he handsome? Is he sexy? Because Hato's a model, so she's gonna be dating some guys. And like I said, she's dating elderly Pesci. So looking at him, what does he look like? I mean, he looks like he's 40s, He's got this really weird hair, kind of flicked back. He's really small and kind of a little bit chubby and stuff. And as you can see, Norisuke is not having that shit. He's like, what the hell is this? As we go on, of course, we can see him oh, it's my boyfriend, let me meet my boyfriend. And of course, Joshu is just oh, this is rich, oh, this is hilarious. And then of course, Norisuke is just because it's the first time he's meeting a boyfriend in general of Hato. So basically, we learn his name is Damo Tamaki. And he owns and establishes a cleaning business. So what he does is he basically introduces himself, but Joshua is just kind of pissed off. So Hato introduces them, as you can see, introduces them to the family, and we learn that he's actually 23 years old. This guy right here. This guy has no chin. Well, he does have a kind of a chin, but it's funny. Kind of looks like a thumb. Look, looks like a thumb. But yeah, we learn he's 23 years old, and of course, Joshua is upset because he's just come in and he's talking really quiet, like, "Hello, my name is Damo Tamaki, I'm 23," and stuff like that. So Joshua gets upset because he's wearing sunglasses. So he goes to take off the sunglasses, as you can see here. He's going to rip off the sunglasses there. And as we can see, it's really funny because, well, he moves out the way really fast, but his hair, not just because he's moving and his hair would go back, but also it's the movement of it is very weird. And as you know from JoJo, it kind of means something, even though... but I just love this picture. Look, when Hato notices and his hair's like that, and then when we go to like the next page, we can actually see everybody in shock, and then suddenly, like Hato's the one fixing it. I just love stuff like that. It really does make me laugh. And then Daya's, it's really funny because like Daya's like, what's going on? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. And he's like, even if like Norisuke and Joshua weren't here, I couldn't explain. I've got no comment whatsoever. It is a really weird thing, you know, like if your older sister or like someone you live with that you know relatively well brought home this boyfriend and he's like completely like out of a league kind of deal, you'd be like, what's going on? Now, this is where it gets interesting because he gives Norisuke a box of chocolate-filled ryokan. If you know what ryokan is, it's kind of like a dessert, a Japanese dessert, and it kind of like looks and has like the texture of jelly, and it's normally made from like azuki, red bean. I don't really like it, but it's chocolate-filled, and he gives him the box. Now, this is where it gets interesting because we notice, Nijimura notices on the door handle that there are fingerprints and they're wet, like they're dripping wet. Same thing with Norisuke as well. Norisuke noticed that there's fingerprints and they're dripping wet. Now this is where the chapter comes to a close because on the next page we see out of nowhere Josuke is licking his hand. Joshu's like that, and he's laughing, licking his hand, and everybody's like, "What's going on?" Norisuke can notice that something's going on. He's probably like, "This guy's a stand user." As we see Nijimura looking at the cloth getting wet randomly, we said that Joshu is laughing, and right there on his hand, he's got the fingerprints. Of course, from when he went and took the sunglasses off, he probably got like a stand attack. So, of course, and it ends with Karashi tadamono de wa nai. So, like her boyfriend is not just your average guy kind of deal. Yeah, and that's it. On the next page, it just shows the latest characters that came out for Eyes of Heaven, and it's got a colour page about that as well. That's not really new. So that's basically it with the with this. I like the fact that they went even more further. Like last issue, when they went further into talking about the Rockmen, this time they're talking about the Rokaka and how like its properties, but not going in too deep. And I kind of like that stuff. This chapter, a new character, really happy about that. It just came out of the blue. Hato's new boyfriend. You see this guy and you're like, whoa, what's this guy? And he just owns a cleaning business, and he's really quiet, but he's a stand user. So basically anything he touches, or anything is possibly his hair, because there's something about it. We also see handprints all over walls and stuff, and they're dripping with water as well. So I have this feeling that whenever he touches something, this is estimation, of course, it's not said in this, he touches something with his stand, or Stan's hand touches it, we haven't seen the stand, of course, I would show you if we did, touches something, or a person touches that. We saw that Joshu is like laughing uncontrollable, but Joshu is like a crazy character, and so we don't... It's anyone's guess, but I'm just going to guess that anything that it touches, the fingerprints on the body or whatever like that, they act differently in some way. I can't wait to find out more, and I can't wait to see how this person would fight. I mean, look at them. They look like... It looks like someone... yeah, like I said, older Pesci, or someone shaved fat President Valentine. That's what I say. My impressions, like I said, it's really good. I really enjoyed the beginning. It had a really good flow. We learned more about Josefumi. Next time, Josuke, after all this, Josuke is going to go and go to where he lives, Josefumi lives rather, and he's going to like look around and see what he can. He doesn't want Yasuho or him to phone up because someone might be there, and we might find out more. But at the moment, we're at the point where we've got a new character, a new stand user, and it's really interesting because it's like Hato's going out with this guy. He's 23, he's 5 years older than her, but a couple of years older than her. It's just really weird. So yeah, if you want to see me go more in depth, I mean that's as much in depth as I could go for this chapter. But if you want me to go more in depth, please tell me in the comments. How did you feel about this chapter? If you're listening to me for the first time, not reading it, or if you've read the translation already, or you're waiting for the translation and you want to check this out, but you fuck it. Write in the comment section about how you feel and what you think is going to happen. Who do you think this Tamaki guy really is? Do you think he's connected? Why does he have a stand? What kind of stand is it? What kind of like song name, album or band name do you think he's going to have? And yeah, what do you think is going to happen next time? So thanks for tuning in for my first JoJolion spoilers and impressions, and I'll see you next time. Kissy. What the fuck did I do?